Yeah. Rad. This is pretty intense.
All right.
GG Girls. Getting to work here.
They're finally doing their job, man.
Thanks, Nike. Wow. Usually this happens during the ad for the Twitch stream, but you guys get to enjoy it this time.
They did this for you guys, so enjoy.
I just want to know who's coming out next.
I just want to know. I want to know which one of those girls would come out on Terraform. What do you guys think?
I'm not sure what.
I don't know how to answer this question. I only know Starcraft rules.
I think the second one would come out on Terraform for sure.
You think she's a Terran player?
Yeah. She's Cactus Valley.
She could play some mech, I think. Mech style.
First one's only a sniper. Doesn't come out very often like Hush.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Nike confirmed to replace Prime in the next season of Early. They've got 4 players. That's all they need. If Prime made it work, they could do it.
Shots fired. Damn. Well, there we go. We're going to be getting right into the next match.
So anyway, enough of that distraction from our StarCraft. Who's going to be next, guys? Is it going to be that Dark?
Dark or Innovation, I think. No, nobody else really. Sue is just terrible versus mech, and this is the mech meta for TVZ.
Well,
so
you just don't want to send Sue instead of Dark, right? That's just
especially on this map against Terran. Like,
yeah,
it just doesn't happen.
He's designed to kill Terrans. That is his job.
I actually don't think we're going to see Sue today at all. I don't think he fits in the pieces.
Yeah. After Dark, there's Classic, and you got that other guy.
Innovation.
Yes.
Dark.
So. Yeah, exactly. That's what.
Yeah, you got like a
you
lot
guys
of
know
options.
what I mean, right?
You got a lot of options. A very deep lineup as expected from SKT coming out today. They can really just do whatever they want. They have the most powerful every race player.
Yeah,
it's scary. It's terrifying, guys.
It is terrifying.
It's why they dominated so hard this year.
I think KT still has a chance, but let's see what happens in this game. This is going to be, if they send out a big player like Dark Innovation, kind of potentially the turning point for KT to win this series if TY is able to take out the next player in a row. Because like I said before, he 100% beats Billy. Like if he lost that game, it would be like, well, everyone in this crowd is going to go home. Like, this guy's going home. Like, he's like, that's it. No, you lost
like,
Billy.
Yeah, you're right, Wolf. I give you the thumbs up. I think even if Dark comes out, Innovation, Sue, any of these guys, like, I think TY is still a good enough. He's like in form enough now that he's not like a free win for SKT for
Certainly not. Certainly not. But I still don't think he's going to be up to par against someone like Dark. TVZ just isn't that good.
You guys actually think Dark beats TY on this map? I think they're going to use Dark, but I think TY wins. Like,
I think Dark wins.
I think Dark destroys his soul.
Really?
Destroys his soul.
Let's find out who it's going to be first of all. It could be Innovation. It could be Crazy. Let's see.
Let's see what SKT thinks is the right choice on Cactus Valley. It's going to be Sue.
Wow.
What?
All right.
Gonna have to disagree with this choice, Uve.
I saw him say the name in the chat, so I got spoiled, but I didn't want to say anything.
At least it's a Zerg player. Kind of half right here. It is a Zerg player, as expected on Cactus Valley, but it's not the player I would expect against the Terran. Because Dark, he's known by a lot of players as the Terran killer. Maybe Sue, though, he gets a shot here. You haven't seen him in a while. He's still a great Zerg, one of the best in the world.
I want to point out that his win record, hold the phone, 16-4. 16-4, but like all 4 of those losses are like versus meching Terrans like Yoda.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, he's not solid in this meta right now, whereas TY barely lost to Bill using mech play.
That was also very early on. That was like round 1 or round 2, so I mean, you do have to give him credit. We were talking about how he is practicing with some of the best by far meching Terrans in the world right now, so we'll see where he is. We also said it's been a while since we saw him, so maybe he is ready for this kind of thing against TY. TY also not the biggest meching Terran, so maybe he doesn't even go for it.
That is very true. I'm still going to give this one to Sue, to be honest.
What about you, Valdez?
I think I'll give it to Sue as well.
I'm going to have to give this one to TY, just results-wise in this matchup recently. But we'll see. You know, anything is possible. Sue might also have a timing attack prepared. He's done that quite a lot in the past.
Yep. Could definitely happen. But guys, let's jump straight into game number 3 here between Sue and TY on this big map of Cactus Valley. Down here in the bottom right in the orange for SK Telecom T1, the Zerg player, he is Sue.
And his opponent to the bottom left in red is TY, now at horizontal spawns again, just on the opposite side.
No Overlord Scout to favor Sue in this one as well. Going the wrong way to start things off here. Not the biggest of deals, but it's pretty important to try and get your Overlord in position on a 4-player map like this. If you're not sure exactly what the Terran is going and they go for something a little bit more aggressive.
Hold the phone, guys. Hold your phones.
All right,
hold them up right now.
We're holding the phones.
Okay.
Like I got mine.
We got a 9 pool on the way. Out of Sue.
All right. Well, let's see what it can do and see if it's going to be up against that CC first.
Well, TY has, as you've said many times, very smartly, Moonblade, echoed Flash's greed in this matchup on 4-player maps in particular. And no doubt Sue has prepared this especially for either TY or Flash.
Oh, yeah.
And
oh, yeah. It's going to be that CC first. So this is a great build order from Sue.
Wow. Yeah. Really smart.
We were talking about this, about how he can really bring out the cheeses when it matters. Pro League, after all, is a best-of-1 format. Maybe Sue was the chosen sniper for TY, and thought maybe he would come out on Cactus Valley. I mean, these teams definitely do a...
Low ground as well. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Never mind. It's going to be on the high ground. It's going to save his life.
Yeah, I think this is a good choice. This is the more TY-esque choice than a Flash choice as well to make that on the high ground, but... He doesn't die to this, most likely anyways, but he definitely will take some damage. Let's see how much. Is it deathly damage? Probably not, but it could be significant enough to where it's just like he's going to be playing behind for the rest of the game.
If these things go cross-map as well, could be a huge problem.
Oh, it looks like they are going in the middle, and they will go cross-map.
Yeah, that's going to really slow down everything, and any sort of potential damage that he could have found. The barracks is not even half done at this point. He could have split these lings up, actually, so they're going to find where they need to go, but can they actually get anything done is the next question.
TY is definitely going to have to do some fancy halt commands on that SCV to save it if it's out there dancing on the outside as well. If he loses it, that's going to be pretty annoying. Look at that, still out there.
Yeah, but look at the buildings as well. They're so high in HP at this point that you're not going to actually break through. You're not going to cancel one before it's finished. Yep. You're going to do a little bit of damage to the supply depot, but you can repair that.
Get over there, repair it, and he should be totally fine here once he gets out that first Marine. And so Sue not in the happiest of places in this game.
Well, that might be a good thing considering he plays better when he's angry. We'll see, though, what TY does next. He might even just drop a 3rd CC pretty soon. Wouldn't even blame him.
Yeah, I mean, that's his style right there. It's not a bad choice at all. You're so far ahead at this point. In terms of build order, you can just play greedy, and there it is.
A huge cheer in the crowd there. See that 3rd CC. Or I guess more of a gasp than anything else that we just heard.
It's going to put him even further ahead in this kind of situation. And I'm curious to see, are we going to see mech from him? Probably not on this map, especially in this kind of situation. I think you have even more room to go for the bio style. You just go for that sort of parade push on the 3rd or the 4th base when you do have all the tech and upgrades in place.
Yeah. My question here is, does Sue just try to play a straight-up normal game from here or try to punish this 3rd CC? Maybe he has got a read on what kind of style TY is going to go for.
Such a hard thing to decide, but hold that thought.
This is smart. He's actually going to have to just let these Marines die.
Yeah.
But I like TY's choice because a lot of players would actually try to save them here and would like get lings in the main, and that would be terrible because he loses these Marines, but at least he hides the scout on the 3rd CC, and now he doesn't really know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Setting him down this early was a bit of an ambitious move as well, considering how many lings he did see. Maybe waiting till 3 or 4 Marines so he can kite them and actually trade with them efficiently. He lost that too. It's going to mean that delayed natural mining for even longer. Not going to be the biggest blunder or the biggest problem. With this many mules available, you're always going to be catching up or ahead in economy.
I think that Sue definitely reads this as a 3rd CC, though, right? He sees very few Marines. He sees this late reactor in factory with that ling running up the ramp. He's like, you just don't have enough stuff. This has to be a 3rd CC. Look at this again. TY is just like going to bring his SCVs down and drop the bunker right in front of the Zerling. He's like, I hope you're on hold position. Oh, good, you are. Well, you just put this here. I hope you don't notice.
Yeah, TY is definitely captain safety when it comes to really anything. That's part of the reason why he is so good at holding off all ends. So he will be able to get his bunker up.
Well, looks like Sue's just going to play a greedy game from here and go for an early 3rd. A minute later than he'd wanted to with the normal sort of build, but not too far behind at all. He is ahead in workers currently.
And look at this scan. Oh, man, a bit of a blunder by Su to start that layer right when the scan went down. But he hit the gases at least. The scan missed those, but then he started a layer, so it's like, oh, well, I guess he knows. It's going to be Mutas, I feel, right off the bat here from Su.
It should be. It should have a Baneling Nest long before then, though, considering he did go for a third base. You never really want to go straight to Mutas like you would on a 2-baser. You have to have the upgrades going, the Banelings available, so in case something does come your way, you can defend it.
We do have the stim on the way, by the way, so TY definitely going to be going for this bio. Feels like he has enough of a lead, wants to play it on this big map. He's got a decent path from his main towards Su's natural as well. And definitely a decent map for bio as well, so can't really fault him for his choice.
Sure. Roach Warren coming up, though, instead of a Baneling Nest, and Su did see the stim research. He actually confirmed the extra barracks as well with that Overlord, so I'm a bit surprised we don't see that Baneling Nest yet.
Yeah, well, look at that. 1-1 upgrades as well for the Roaches. So it looks like he wants to go for that sort of Roach Hydra style, it seems, unless he's going for like a 1-1 Roach timing.
There is... Oh, look at this. Okay, look at the mini-map. Look at that Nidus potential there. I mean, he could be trying for something really, really risky here.
God, it's hard to say.
Maybe.
It's such an unusual build we usually see from Zerg players, unless you really are expecting to deal with mech. Five Overlords on the way. I mean, this is it. It's going to be run 1 Roach with speed. I think you might add a Nidus network. I think it would be wise, considering that Overlord has seen that there's nothing there in the main base to spot. Yeah. Although, speak of the devil, TY goes to check for it. Look at that. It's king of safety. Yeah, it's
he heard us talking about it, right?
Very nicely done there. And 14 Roaches on the way. All upgrades are lining up as well for this Roach timing to come down at 1-1.
Stim is going to be ready, but that's about it. No Marauders and just 1 tank on the way.
20 Roaches on the way. 20. That is a gigantic number to make at one time as well. Yeah, he was just journeying up to 55, getting his upgrades up until this exact point.
He was hiding them, essentially. He didn't want to show any sort of Roaches on the map until he actually had to make them. So he pulled it all up, made them all at once. He's going to continue to try and hide them and crash in on his third base. But with this tank up, it's a problem.
TY actually scans, sees the Roaches, and let's see how quickly he evacuates this base. Might even just drop that refinery back off the map. Oh, it looks like he's not really reacting. Second tank is in position, but definitely going to want to actually fight this. Okay, he's going to actually use the Marines on the low ground here, and Stim is ready.
Yeah. He's got those 2 tanks on the high ground that are essentially going to be immune to any kind of Roach damage here. So just going to try to focus down this orbital, but it's not going to do much. If it gets low, he can just lift it and go back to the protection of his tanks.
Look at this. Aspire on the way now and Ling's speed. So maybe he's planning to transition to, Mutiling Bane from here while he delays the third base, but still, I don't really favor this kind of situation for Su at all.
Yeah. The Medivacs coming out at the perfect moment there as well really helped out. It not only healed the Marines, but also even some of those SCVs that got attacked. And the scary thing is Baneling speed. For me, that's like he doesn't have that for so long that TY now has Combat Shield Stim and 1-1. And since Baneling isn't even ready, can't even start it yet. So these attacks that are going to follow up for TY in just a moment are going to be very deadly.
Yeah, he's not even going to have Mutas anytime soon. Spire's only half done. Making Lings now, and the Baneling Nest nearly finished, but he's going to have to weather a pretty scary storm when TY wants to move onto the map.
Yeah, I mean, if he does go for some kind of swell of maybe 7 Mutas here, he's not going to have all that much on the ground. And, of course, going to take a while here to get a lot of Lings and Banes out. This drop shouldn't be able to do much. He's still going to drop it in, but he's ready.
Yeah, Baneling speed started instantly, which is really important. He's also getting a +2 armor, which will make these Marines a little bit, less useful, I guess, or just not as damning, as like deadly. Moving out here again, the Crete spread is still really good for Su, all things considered. So he may just very well be able to buy enough time to get that Baneling speed out.
He might have trouble holding this 4th base if TY was so inclined to check up there. Looks like he's going to be working on the 3rd, though, with 3 tanks sieged up and now the Marines stimming in.
Yeah, this base definitely the more important of the 2.
It's just gone.
Yeah, everything was in the main. This is what happens when you don't have Mutas. They can't deal with the drop. You got to send your units to follow it around your base, and essentially the Terran can get a fantastic position, but he is going to engage.
Yeah, I don't think that he can actually win this fight. Looks like the tanks are going to target down the Roaches, and he can't really escape with this bio either because of the Mulus. Looks like he escapes with some of it.
He trades out pretty nicely and lets the army go. He's got a pretty decent army back at home still, and he's splitting up these medivacs very smartly. try and buy as much time as he can to survive and try and keep at least one of them alive.
Yeah, remaking that hatchery now that third base. The fourth is up. He's transferring his drones over there right now, so he will not lose any mining, but you know, the damage is still done because he wanted to be on 4 bases now, not 3. So it's like he's still on 3, but that's not okay. That's not good.
It did the job it had to, that attack. Deal with one of those bases, put him behind or on even terms with economy. And Zerg never wants to be there at this part of the game. They want to have at least 1 base up on a Terran player and looking to deny the 4th base of the Terran as well.
He's pooping over that location, so going to try to deny that for a bit here. And just get out a decent Muta force. Some more medevacs going down all over the map, so TY definitely going to have to rebuild some of those before he does go for another attack here.
The creep tomb is, there's not that many of them, not many active ones anymore especially. It's almost a mistake from Su to just be so inactive with that, but I guess he was really counting on that Roach aggression to put him so far ahead that it didn't matter as much.
Yeah. Well, this is not going to be a place Mutalist can find damage. They've actually been so stuck defending drops that they haven't found much harassment in this game at all. In fact, I don't think he's seen a mineral line with those Mutas this game. Just has to keep them back all the time. They're constantly denied.
He's got a pretty healthy number right now as well at 16.
Yeah, and that's why we see these 2 Thors being added. They're going to have +1 as well. TY really does think of everything.
Oh, look at this. Big engagement here. No AoE for TY, so it's a good fight for Su.
Yeah, even though it is off creep, just has a ton of stuff crashing in. The 2 tanks are going to be engaged on here, trying to target down some of those veins, and he does get a pretty nice split. But is it enough Marines here to deal with the Mutas?
Oh my god, I don't think so. He's just going to run it down. The Thor micro, huge blunder there.
Yeah, this is really, really bad for TY, actually. He's going to get pushed all the way back to the natural. And Su on the production. 3 more Mutas, 24 lings on the way. But this is going to be potentially so much damage with these Mutalists now camping some of these depots, and might be able to find some damage in the main base. Just like you said, a lack of AoE.
Yeah,
it's like he was trying to play this like he had already won the game, and he's like, I don't need to worry about Widow Mines. Now he's making 2 tanks at a time, playing old school.
Now all he really has to do is make a huge number of veins somewhere safe and try and crash in and finish the game here while the army is broken, while the AoE is so minimal.
He's going to try to run in here once again. Those 2 Thors all alone. Trying to go for the micro. Saves 1. The other medevac very low.
The Thor should go down here in just a moment. Okay, does pull it back. Well done. But this is just, again, way too aggressive. Why move out on the map at this exact moment? He needs to be turtling. He needs to be trying to boost maybe the Thor and a few Marines down to the 3rd base. Here come those banelings you were talking about. The tank
not
siege.
good, not good. He needs to get them out of there. He needs to be dealing with the 3rd base, which he is. If he get rid of all the SCVs there and pull back, he's going to be so far ahead.
So much indecision from Su in his micro here. He could have crashed those banelings and killed all the SCVs, but instead he tried to kill the bio and got nothing.
Kind of an awkward spot. He was caught like wrapping around the hill there with his banelings and then just got hit by a ton of tank shots.
Yeah.
11 kills, 6 kills on those tanks.
Complete overcommittal there from Su in a bad position. And those tanks there, they really did clean up all those banelings, which was a huge mistake.
One of the scary things coming up soon online for TY is the 3-3 upgrades. They're about a third of the way done, nearly the attack almost halfway done at this point. And once that is ready, Su is going to really struggle to deal with this bio, especially if he can remax. So he needs to, I feel, continue to find damage, but be a little bit more careful about how he does it.
He can't let up, really, at this point. It's either you kill him, you deny a base and get so far ahead that 3-3 doesn't matter as much. But once 3-3 is online, the Terran feels so much safer. They have such a leg up with that upgrade advantage.
Especially, well...
Oh,
man, he doesn't target it down.
Come on.
Should still be able to get it, but this is a lot of time wasted now for Su.
Even loses a Muta for it. The medevac's going to buy even more time.
Yeah, a Muta for like a medevac drop is like sometimes even questionable. A Muta for not even the medevac necessarily and so much time bought, it's like a win for TY.
He essentially buys himself enough time to get that 4th base up. I mean, he drops all the mules now, gets all his units in position.
All right, he needs tanks in position, though. He's got no Widow Mines, and this is going to be almost more banelings than there are Marines on the map.
Yeah, he's only got 2 tanks.
Tanks are not, at the 3rd base and between the natural and 3rd, so they're not going to be defending this 4th base at all.
I think he might just let it go. There's no way he can hold on to this.
I think he can trade and pull back, maybe pick up, but yeah, it's going to be a bad fight regardless.
3-3 finishing up.
Yeah,
at least the
seconds.
+3 attack.
Big deal here. Here we go. Nice concave.
Yeah, really nice concave here, actually. And look at this split. It's insane. One Thor goes down, but doing a lot of damage regardless. All the banelings are gone, and 3-3 is done. And these Lings definitely don't want to take this fight. And look at the supplies. Suddenly, TY catching up quite a big way. 3-3 done, 4th base up online, and he didn't even use the tanks on that fight.
30 supply lead for Su is actually in drones right now, so they're pretty equal in terms of army supply. But the army is so much more cost efficient at this point for TY.
He like waited for the +3 attack to finish as well. It was really unfortunate timing there for Su. He still only has +1 attack for his melee units, so it's +1 attack against +3 armor. And he's only got the +2 armor for his melee unit, or rather his ground units as well.
Yeah, he's like focusing on his Mutalisk upgrades. He got the armor for them to help against Thors and potentially Marines, but he needs more upgrades for his ground units.
At the very least, he does have those extra bases. He's sitting on about 5 base right now, which is pretty good against the 4 base of TY. And he is going towards that hive. Rather, it is late, but at least it's going there instead of him going all in on that lair tag.
Good micro on Mutas.
Saves one of the, or loses only one.
A bit of an overextension here by TY, but here comes the rest of the army to protect it. Needs good splits, and look, Marauders at the front taking all his Baneling shots, and Su should not be fighting this.
Well, he should be able to clean it up, but now that the Mutas are here, so long as they spread out just a little bit.
Yeah, they just need to magic box against 4 Thors. One more Thor in the back trying to get those shots off, but still so many Lings remain on the ground. It's just those upgrades. TY with like 5 to 8 Marines is just going against about 20, 25 Lings on the ground.
Keep in mind that, again, the big issue here for TY and why he doesn't crush these engagements is the missing area of effect damage. He has no Widow Mines, he has no tanks. He's relying on Thors to deal with the Mutas and Marauders to deal with the Banelings, which to a certain extent has been working out for him because Su kind of keeps crashing the Banelings into him, and his splits have been really good. But I would like to see, with the 2 factories he has on the map, he has a few Thors now, just try to be a little bit more cost efficient with his Thors to add some Widow Mines, get the Drilling Claws.
Yeah, Widow Mines or Hellbats right now would be such a useful unit to have for this kind of composition. You never normally see just pure Marine Marauder Thor have much effect at this point.
Well, Su, he's been focusing on those Mutas all game long. He's going to finally find some harassment damage in the main. While TY is moving out, this is actually just going to force Su back.
He's going to get out those Ultras soon enough. Ultralisk Cavern nearly finished as well as that +3 Carapace on the way. So he's setting up for a very healthy late game. The creep spread's still good enough as well to keep the Terran sort of on his side of the map. It's going to be up to TY to really make a big push for it soon, or he's going to run out of time and be dealing with a composition that is very equal, very on par when it comes to fighting.
I just want to point something out to the viewers. Like, take a screenshot of this and look at the minimap. Look at the Overlord spread for Su, how good it is, how perfect it is. There's not a single gap in vision for any units, not even 2 Marines that just try to go across the map can find a way in. It's just, this is the level of play you see out of top Zergs in Korea.
Yeah,
absolutely.
His creep has been getting a bit better as well, even though it's not the thickest, as you were saying before, Moonglade. He's beginning to push it out towards the middle of the map, at least.
Yeah, he's got a lot of room to do so. It's not like TY is active on the map really with anything, not even drops at this point. He's kind of turtling up, building an army again and again, and crashing into a lot of Ling Bane Muta. This time around, though, there's going to be Ultras in the mix and some pretty healthy upgrades.
And he needs Widow Mines against this time, and he is finally getting them out. The first 2 just popped. He's actually making 3 at a time now with that Reactor Factory as well as the second one. And Drilling Claws are on the way, but he's going to need all of these to deal with the Ultras. Good targeting with Thors, and of course those Marauders can be quite helpful as well.
I think Su might be going for the attack, the fight here. Maybe after these Banes have finished up, as long as he splits out, he could take a pretty good fight. He was ahead in army supply. It's pretty even up at this point.
Small Bioforce here, clearing up that creep, and remember, still behind in upgrades is Su, but he will have the +3 armor for his Ultras.
Well, here we go. He looks like he's waiting for that, and he's going to be jumping on top of this army now.
Oh god, that Widow Mine hit on the Banelings is insane, but there still might be too many here.
Oh, and he's going off creep now, but just so many Banelings, as you were saying before. A really nice split here from TY, a decent concave, but the Mutas left over to try to do some damage here.
Too much bio. He's losing the last of the Ultras. He needs more Marines, though, to deal with those Mutalisks.
Oh, Baneling's going to be hitting, looks like Marauders as well, but Mutas are going to help clean up everything else.
Coming in here, that one Widowmine does go off on all the mutas, and I think that will finally push Sue back.
Remax is coming though. 2 Ultras, 50 Lings. He's in a good place to kind of wipe this army out. If TY stays on the map, he's going to lose everything.
He still has his Widowmines, which is really important because Sue spent a lot of gas on those Ultras, but he's going so Ling heavy, like you said. If a few more good Widowmines go off, then maybe he can actually just kite his way back and hang on in this game. But Sue with a massive advantage at this point, and he's finally starting to close the gap on all his missing upgrades. Oh god, not again!
Got to pay attention to this, but looks like he's looking for the army, and he's found it up here.
That could have been even worse. Sorry, I just really scared from there.
Coming in now into 3 more Widowmines, trying to run forward, taking some big hits, but not too much bio left over here for 2Y.
Yeah. Trying to come in and trying to group it all together. All these SCVs here in the army are definitely not doing anything.
Well, everything getting wiped out, and his 5th base is kind of cut off at this point. He might even lose it to the mutas, and he's going to start working on the 4th. Not much bio left over to defend against this.
Pretty big Widowmine hit there, but as you said, not enough. GG.
Man, TY's got to be kicking himself after how many Widowmine hits went off there at the end. He's probably like, wow, if I just made those all game.
Yeah, that would have helped out. His composition was very lacking, and his presence on the map even more so.
What's the story there? I mean, why does TY always love to go for those tanks? Is it just a stylistic thing, or
certainly
he started off with them and he's like, okay, I got my add-ons that way, I'll just keep it like that? I mean,
it worked. It defended what it had to defend, but he never transitioned. He never made the unit he had to out of the factory, which was going to be Widowmines or Hellbats. Either one. You can't skip out on both.
Or even, I mean, it's as crazy as it is, even some more tanks. At some point, he had 2 tanks, and he never made any more, and he never had any AoE damage. I think he was just thinking, I spent all my money on Marines, I spent all my money on this bio, and I'm just going to overwhelm him and kill him. Where at horizontal spawns, I have a huge lead, but he never took enough good fights to make that happen. So then he would just struggle to transition for seemingly no reason, essentially, but SKT will take a 2-1 lead now with this victory.
Sue kind of looking a bit frustrated after that win. He's like, oh, that was really messy.
Yeah, that was a dirty game.
Starting off with the 9 pool into the roach timing that really did nothing, into a bunch of engagements that weren't that clean. I mean, he was eventually able to win the game, and that is what matters, but I think he's not 100% happy with this play there.
Well, it's going to get even worse because it's going to be on Vani Research Station the next game, and I have to say we probably should see Flash out on this one. That would make a lot of sense. It is going to be a mech map after all. I don't think we really want to see a Protoss come out, but Zest wouldn't be too shy to the fact either. I think he's a fantastic choice against Zerg players these days.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I would have to agree, it's either going to be Life or Flash, I think, and I think Flash is the better choice right now.
Hard to say. I'm not sure if we're going to see Life, to be honest. I want to say that Life is on top of his game right now, but he just isn't. He just hasn't been playing well for quite some time, especially in Pro League.
Yeah, and I think we do have to see Zest here. I just don't know if you send him out here on this map, especially with Terraform next. In all of his games against Terran,